Hi my loves and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a Q&A. I haven't filmed a Q&A in the longest time. I think the last one I filmed was like 3 years ago. I think it was before I was married actually. I know I've done some after that, but they've been more specific, like a specific wedding one, a specific like baby one. I haven't done like a general one. And the one that I did last time, I feel like that was like a completely different me. I feel like I've changed so much in the last few years. But yeah, anyway, I thought I would do a Q&A just to answer those questions that I get asked all of the time. And also just like open it up to you guys. I did a little post on my Insta story so that you guys could pop your questions over to me, and I'm going to try and answer them in this video. Probably not going to do all of them. I'm probably going to do like the ones that are most fun, just to keep it interesting. But I hope you guys like this video, and if you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are new here, then welcome. My name is Sebinaah. Make sure you check out my old videos, and I will be uploading every week now, one video a week, so make sure you keep an eye on my channel and subscribe so that you can be notified when I upload. Okay, let's wrap the intro up and let's get on with the questions. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I kind of don't think that far ahead. I know a lot of people do, and they have like long-term plans. Like I have goals, like, you know, I'd like to do this one day, or I'd like to do that one day, but I don't try and pinpoint things. I feel like when we pinpoint things, or when we say we want to do this by a certain age, I feel like when it doesn't happen, it makes you really sad and it really demotivates you. And like when I was younger, when I was like 16, 17, when I was at school in sixth form, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted my life to be like when I was 25. And it's nothing like that. Alhamdulillah, it's way better. But like in my head, I was like, yeah, I'll be a qualified solicitor. I'll have like 3 kids, this, that, and the other. Like life never turns out the way you expect it. You know, you can make plans and you can work towards those plans, but at the end of the day, it's all about enjoying what you have right here, right now. Like I can leave the house tomorrow and get hit by a bus. What's my point of a 5-year plan going to be when I was too busy focusing on what I wanted and didn't enjoy what I had, and now I'm no longer here? So I kind of, you know, yeah, it is important to plan and like work towards things, and I do that, but at the same time I try and focus on what I'm doing right now, giving what I'm doing right now 110%, kind of just enjoying it, even the bad days and even the bad moments, just like being like, you know what, things are still good. Even when crap is happening, things are still good, and just appreciating that. So yeah, I've got no idea where I'll be in 5 years time is basically the long answer to that question. Is there still scope for people to make it as an influencer? 100% yes. I've had so many times people say, oh, this market is saturated, and that is not true. I don't know the stats, but like Instagram has a crazy amount of users at the moment, and what do you think, like everybody's following enough accounts? There is no limit to who people can follow or what they can follow, and at the end of the day, like if you know what your niche is, if you know who you are, and if you can offer something that other people aren't offering, or maybe you can offer something that other people are offering but offer it better, then try. Like there is no harm. I've never had anyone say, oh, I wish I hadn't started blogging. What I have heard a lot of people say is, I wish I'd started it sooner. So if you're thinking about it, let this be the year that you're going to do it. Just have fun with it. It's supposed to be fun. If you enjoy content creation, if you enjoy meeting people, if you enjoy discussing things and just having a platform and a voice, then just do it. What's one thing you would change on your wedding day? I think I would have just been like a little less stressed and a little bit more in the moment. I feel like I was really nervous. I don't know why. I was so nervous on the morning of my wedding day. And my makeup artist, bless her, Shari, she really did help me to calm down. But I just feel like if I hadn't been so uptight about everything being perfect, I would have enjoyed it more, and I would have like just embraced that time that I was having with my family and friends, and like starting this new chapter of my life. So I just feel like if I could do it again, I'd just be a bit more relaxed. Not even just on the wedding day, like in the build up as well. I think I'd just be a bit more calm about everything. When is it time for baby number 2? I am not pregnant, by the way. Everybody keeps asking me on Instagram, well, not everybody, but like loads of people keep asking me, are you pregnant? And I've had people be like, oh my God, you're pregnant. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, stop assuming. I've always had like a belly, like belly fat, puppy fat, whatever you want to call it. Even when I was tiny, when I was like 15, 16, I was so small, I'd fit into like age 11, age 12 jeans. That's how tiny my waist was. But even then, I never had a flat stomach. I've always had a belly. And it's quite funny because when I look back then, back then I had problems with my weight and eating and stuff, and I don't even want to go into it right now. But back then I thought I was fat, and when I look back now, I'm like, what was I thinking? I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so chill about my weight, because I know how miserable it got me before, and I know that like losing this weight and becoming skinny isn't going to make me a happier person. It probably made me healthier. I probably should like just cut out the Red Bull and the Coke. But like being skinny or being fat isn't going to make me happier or sadder. So no, I've completely got off the question, which was when do you want baby number 2? I would love a child right now. It's just really difficult with what I do as work. Work is so full on, and I get a lot of help from my mum and my mother-in-law, and I just don't think it's fair to add another child into the picture when I feel like I'm not giving her enough attention as it is. And then to try and juggle work and 2 children. So probably like another 3 or 4 years. But then again, I did say I was going to wait 3 years until after I was married before I had my first child, and that didn't happen. So who knows? Did you study at university? If so, how was your experience? Yes, I did law LLB at the University of Westminster. I applied to Queen Mary, which was my first choice, and I needed 3 A's and I got 2 A's and a B, so I didn't get in, and I went to Westminster, and I was a little bit gutted because Westminster's not that great of a uni, especially compared to Queen Mary, but I'm so glad it happened. I met like all my closest friends there. It was that experience just changed my whole outlook on life. I started wearing headscarf when I went to uni. I just got to see so much more of London. Like it just I come from like a small, quite narrow-minded town, and like I feel like if I stayed here and if I hadn't gone to uni, I would have just still been in my bubble. I probably wouldn't even be doing this. But like going to uni, being in London, being in central London, being exposed to so many people, especially from different cultures all over the world. Like Westminster is a really diverse university. Being exposed to that, I feel like it's really opened my mind up to stuff. So yeah, so glad I went there and did what I did. What is one of your biggest worries as a mother? So there's loads of different ones, but I think the one that I wasn't expecting, the one that threw me by surprise, is that constant fear that and self-questioning that is what I'm doing gonna mess him up. Like if I tell him off too much, am I gonna mess him up in the long run and make him feel like he's not loved enough? But then if I don't tell him off enough, am I gonna end up spoiling him and mess him up in the long? Like everything I do, I'm questioning myself, like, is this the right thing? Is it gonna mess him up in the long run? Is he gonna have like behavioural issues because of this? Like I overanalyze everything as it is. So yeah, I'm really like, I'm always worrying like, oh, like right now he still sleeps in our bed, and I'm like, do I put him in the cot? Do I let him cry because he doesn't want to sleep in the cot? Do I let him cry, but is like crying gonna like damage him in the long run? But surely he won't remember it. But what if he does? And like honestly, I just go around in circles and drive myself crazy most of the time. How do you deal with differences and handle arguments between you and your hubby? So we argue a lot. I just think that's just how we are as people. We're both quite strong-minded, we're both quite stubborn. The difference is when we argue, I'm the person that like when I've screamed and shouted and cried, because I do get hysterical, when I've got like that emotion, out of my system, I then want to make up, I want to be friends. So and he's like totally different. When we've had an argument and he's like in that zone, he's like, leave me alone, I need my space to calm down. So a lot of the times when we have an argument, I end up making it worse, because he's like, look, just give me some space, and I'm like, but no, like, I'm sorry, let's make up. And we end up just, it could be the smallest thing and it just becomes huge. But in terms of how do you deal with it, I feel like as you get to know someone better, as time passes, you know the things to avoid. So sometimes obviously we argue, and the reason we argue is because we're both deliberately pushing each other's buttons to piss each other off. Because let's be real, that's what happens in marriage. But we manage to avoid a lot of arguments by, if I'm annoyed or if something has happened and I take it out on him, he won't say anything until later on. And like when I'm calm, and he'll be like, well, you shouldn't have spoken to me like that, or you shouldn't have done that. And vice versa. If he's mad at something, if something else has happened and he's taking it out on me, and I won't say anything in the moment, but when he's calm, I'll be like, well, you know what, that wasn't my fault and you got mad at me, or that wasn't my fault and you tried arguing with me. And I feel like that, the phrase Fazan uses is when one is fire, the other has to be water. That's like his favourite phrase to use. So like sometimes when he's mad and I get mad back at him, he's like he uses it against me. He's just like, just need you to be calm. When I'm mad, just let me get on with it. When you're mad, I'll let you get on with it. So I feel like it's a level of understanding, a level of compromise, and it's just something that you kind of both have to work at constantly. What jobs have you done so far? Oh my god, I've had loads of jobs. My first job ever was in a hairdresser. So I've done a hairdresser's, I've done retail, I've done like a phone shop, I've done Wilco's, I've worked in a restaurant, I've done IT sales, I've done phone sales, I've done estate agent, I've done conveyancer, I've done contract manager, and obviously now this. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed out. I think that's all of them. How do you balance work, home and being a mum? So last year was a huge struggle. Obviously I was on maternity leave, but I was still trying to a lot of people don't see being an influencer as a full-time job, and it frustrates me because there's always stuff to do. There's like emails, contracts to go through, you have to keep a record of all of your expenses and stuff for the accountant. There's a lot of negotiating when it comes to deals, there's a lot of toing and froing when it comes to proposals, so there's a lot. And then obviously when you are creating content, there's the content creation, there's the editing, there's the upload, there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. So I was on maternity leave, so like, you know, I was kind of at home, and there was the expectation that like all my attention would be on my son and I'd have a clean house because I'm at home not doing anything, but then I was trying to work as well. So last year was just a complete mess, and I was always stressed. I never had any downtime. When I was with my family or friends, I was constantly on my phone doing emails, just checking on things. I felt miserable a lot because I was so overworked. So this year I'm going to be a lot better at getting that balance right. So we now have set work hours, like certain days of the week, 9 till 3 or 9 till 4 or 9 till 5 or 9 till 6 are work hours. Those hours is either at my mum's or my mother-in-law's, so that we can get what we need to get done. And then it means that when it's not work hours, that time is with family, it is with friends, it is with Noah, it's with each other. And like we have to like, because obviously me and Fazan work together as well, so it gets really hard. So sometimes it's like 11 o'clock at night watching a movie and I like remember something and I'm going to tell him, and I have to consciously now be like, no, that's work stuff, don't talk about it now, this is like your private life, your personal time, talk about it in the morning when it's work time. So I'm still struggling with the balance, but we are going to get there. Do you have any helper in your home for household chores? How do you manage everything? I don't. I really wanted help when I was pregnant with Noah, just like not after he was born, but when I was pregnant I just couldn't do a lot of stuff like cleaning the shower and stuff. Fazana was really good actually. When I was pregnant and when Noah was born, like the first few months, he would wash the dishes and hoover it, like help around the house. Like I said to him the other day, he hasn't washed dishes in at least like 6 or 7 months. He's just stopped doing it, and it annoys me because I know he can do it because he did it when I was pregnant and when Noah was first born. But no, I don't have any help around the house. We don't have a huge place, so it's not like it's going to take hours to clean, and I kind of try and keep on top of it most of the time anyway. So why is he naked? Why? He's gonna wee everywhere. What are you doing? He's had a bath today. He's already had a bath. What are you doing? This is what I mean. I'm trying to work. There is no balance, guys. But yeah, what was I saying? So in terms of cleaning, it's super easy because we don't have a huge place, and I try and stay on top of it all the time myself, because a lot of the times I'm working from home, and if I don't have a clean space to work in, a clean environment to work in, it messes with my work. So I make sure that everything is clean and tidy before I sit down to do my work. How many kids do you want? So when I was younger, I wanted like 10. Now I'm like, I'll just stick to 1. No, I want like 2 or 3 maybe, and I want to adopt as well, inshallah. Like when my own kids are older, and like when me and Fazan are older, I do definitely want to adopt as well. Who does your son look like, you or your husband? Everyone says he looks like my husband. I do think he looks like me a little bit. I think the eyes and my forehead. He has like a really hairy forehead, and I have a really hairy, well, I did before I got laser. I have a really hairy forehead as well, so that's the one thing that he's gotten from me. What are your plans for Noah's first birthday? We're actually just doing it super chill. We're gonna have a small family holiday, and then like a really small party at home, like with just our parents and our siblings. I did want to do a huge party, but it's just too many people and it's a lot of organising, and I know I'm gonna get really stressed out, and I like everything to be perfect, and I like to think about the little details, and people just don't appreciate the little details that take loads of time. And like I just feel like it's too much. He's 1, he's not going to remember a huge party. Maybe when he's a little bit older, when he's like 4 or 5, I might do like a Noah's Ark themed party or something. But for now, just something small at home, just to like celebrate him. I want it to be about him. I don't want it to be about food at the party or the cake at the party or what everybody's wearing at the party. I want his birthday to be about him, and I feel like something at home and intimate is going to be more meaningful. When are you planning to go Pakistan? So inshallah we are planning to go next year. I don't know if it's gonna happen because just a few things, but hopefully, no, this year, no, this 2019, yeah, end of this year we are planning on coming to Pakistan. We don't know how long for. We do want to do a stay in Karachi and a stay in Lahore as well, just for a few days to explore, maybe do some meet and greets, I don't know, because like both Fazan and I live, well, Fazan lives in like, his village is like a lot bigger than mine. My village is tiny, literally tiny, in the middle of nowhere. So I think we do need like to go see the cities and stuff as well. So yeah, this year inshallah. How do you balance your social media life and your real life? It's really hard. I struggled with it for ages, but you know, I've been doing this 5 years now. So I feel like over time I have learnt how to keep that balance. So for example, Saturday nights is like when we have our friends over. Saturday nights, my phone is away. Weekends, I try not to work. So I'll still post and I'll still be active on social media, but I won't film anything. I won't answer emails. I'll try not to take pictures. And like I said before, I'm trying to do like this whole 9 to 5 thing so that I have evenings free. When I began doing videos and like sharing stuff online, I used to include my friends. I used to include my nephews and nieces. I used to include my sisters. I try not to include people now, just because I feel like I do need a little bit of a divide. Like if they want to be on it, great, and we might do content here or there. But you know, like when every single time you're going out with your sisters and you're taking a camera, it gets to a point where you're like, are we even spending time together? Are we even talking, or is it all for the camera? And I did that for a while because when I was working full time, I had very limited time to create content. So I would film everything and anything we were doing. And it just got to a point that it was draining. So I had to find a balance. This is a really interesting one. If your husband has to take his wife or mum for Hajj, who should he take in your opinion? This is very similar to a question that I saw. What's that show they do in America with one of the sister girls on it? I think Tia's on it. They had a question on there about like, when you're in the car, and your husband's driving, should the wife sit in the front or should the mum sit in the front? This is very, very similar. I think it all depends on circumstances. Like if his mum is older, if he doesn't have any brothers, if he doesn't have a dad, then surely he should take his mum first, because I guess the wife would get a chance afterwards. But then on the same note, like if the wife doesn't have any brothers of her own and she doesn't have a dad and she's like got no one else to go with, she doesn't have another mahram, then maybe it should be the wife first. I feel like that's a really trick question to answer. I don't even know why I mentioned it in the video. I'm not even answering it. Are you planning on going back to Turkey? Yes, I love Turkey. There's 2 questions side by side. One says, hey, hope you're well. How did you lose your weight? And the second one says, you have an amazing body. Do you work out? Guys, I really want to show my belly. If I showed my belly to the camera, you would all be convinced that I am pregnant. I am not, but I literally have not lost any of the baby weight. Sometimes I like catch myself in the mirror, especially when it's sideways, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I get to this size? Yeah, I really need to like try and slim back down again. Have you considered coming back to Dubai again? I love Dubai. I never thought I would say that. My views and opinions of Dubai before I went were that it's very superficial, that it's very fake, that I wouldn't enjoy it. I love Dubai. Dubai is so easy. Everybody speaks English. Everything is halal. There's so much to do. We've been twice. We are going to go again inshallah this year at some point. But like there's still loads of stuff that we haven't done. And I'm like, to Fazan, we haven't gone to any of the water parks. Because both times I went, I was pregnant. But so there's still so much to do. And both times we went, we actually did loads of stuff anyway. So there's so much to do in Dubai. I really do love it. And the weather's always really good. Dream car you want? I have no idea. I know nothing about cars. I literally drive. You guys don't even want to see the state of my car. Firstly, I haven't had it cleaned in God knows how long. But secondly, there's like scratches and dents. Like I'm an awful driver. I probably shouldn't say that on camera. I don't think the DVLA would watch this, but in case they do. I'm not bothered about cars, honestly. Like I know a lot of people, they want nice cars. I'm like, I'd much rather just have a nice handbag or a nice pair of shoes. The cars, just, I don't even know how to answer that question. I don't even know the name of a car that I would like. I want to leave college and get a job because the work is too much. What do I do? It depends what you're studying in college. It depends what you want to do with life. I feel like in our society and in our culture, there's a huge emphasis on getting a degree and going to university. And that's not always necessarily the path that you need to take. Everybody's path is different. And there's loads of people out there that are really, really successful and making great money and they don't have a single degree. And there's people out there with multiple degrees who are doing really well, but also people with multiple degrees who aren't doing really well. Just kind of who you are as a person and what opportunities you grab in life that carve out the path that you take. And if you really hate it, then let's be real, you're not gonna do well. If you don't like something, if you don't enjoy something, then how can you expect yourself to be good at it? But like, if you want to leave because it's a struggle, the working world is an even bigger struggle. Just know that. Really want to start as a makeup artist, but I can't afford all the products. Any tips? So 2 tips. Firstly, if you want to do something, if you want to make money out of it, if you want it to be a business, you have to be prepared to invest. So buying good quality makeup and good quality products is going to cost you a few £100 because makeup is expensive, let's be real. But if you are then charging like £50 a client or even like £30 a client, you can eventually make that money back. And then just instead of keeping that money, reinvest that money in a business. What people fail to realise is that to get a business off the ground, it takes a good few years. You know, you're not going to decide that you can be a makeup artist tonight and then wake up next week and start turning over a profit. It will take you a while, but you just have to be persistent and consistent at it. So either borrow the money of someone or get a loan or something to invest. Or the other option is go for more lower end makeup and start with like lower end clients and maybe like younger girls, maybe prom makeup, maybe something cheaper, maybe do offers, maybe do it for free, build up your portfolio, and then when you've got a client list and you are getting regular work, then you can use a percentage of what you're earning to then reinvest into products and into the business. Could you do another video with your sisters? I really want to. I think they want to as well, so I'll ask them and then maybe we'll film something together soon, inshallah. Have you ever felt depressed as a mum, meaning time-wise only limited stuff you can get done? I think it's super normal to feel depressed as a mum. Sometimes all I want is to stay at home and just like not have to worry about anything, just have a chill day where me and Noah get to spend time together. But then when I do that, I feel like depressed that I'm not speaking to other people and it's just me and him and it's just a bit lonely. But then when I do go out, then I feel like bad that I'm not spending enough time on him. I feel like motherhood, especially when it's your first child and especially when it's the first year, you're juggling emotions all of the time. And my best advice is just ride the wave. Don't get caught up in the emotions. So if you're feeling down, don't do things to make yourself feel even more down. Just keep reminding yourself, this is a wave. I'm going to go down, but I'm going to come back up. It's just what happens. It's part of the process. I'm going to feel shit for a while. I'm going to feel down for a while. But eventually things will get back up. That's like the best advice I can think of right now. Why do you always wear makeup? I like wearing makeup. I like it. When I don't want to wear it, I don't wear it. I haven't worn like a full face for like 3 weeks. But I genuinely like the process of like sitting there and putting it on, and I like how I feel when I'm wearing it. Someone just said, did you have a nice time when I came to your house yesterday? No one came to my house yesterday. Literally no one. Actually, that's a lie. Ali and Raja came over, but this is from a girl. This isn't one of my husband's friends, so I have no idea. People send me the most randomest stuff on Instagram, honestly. What are the drawbacks of being a YouTuber / vlogger or a Muslim YouTuber / vlogger? I think it's not necessarily being a Muslim vlogger, but I feel like being Pakistani is a lot harder because obviously our culture, there's a lot more cultural restrictions than there is if I was just British. And because of those cultural restrictions, people tend to talk, people like to say stuff. Nobody ever has the guts to say it to my face, but they love talking to my mum or my mother-in-law or to my cousins or whatever. And that can be hard sometimes. Like, a lot of people have positive things to say, which is great. And it's nice for me when like my family hear those positive things, because at the beginning I did get a lot of negative things, and I don't think it was nice for the people that love me to hear that and to be like, oh, like, how do we tell her to stop? because she's so strong-minded. She won't stop. She's going to do what she wants to do. And for them to see that negativity change to positivity, I think has been great. Okay, I am going to leave it here for today because the battery light is flashing and the memory card is nearly full, and it's Noah's bedtime. Fazan's been watching for the last few hours because I've been filming all day today. So I'm going to wrap it up. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If there are any questions you have, leave them down below because I do love answering them. And I'll see you all soon, inshallah.